Welcome to the 10,000-year mystery of cats. They aren't just pets. They are ancient partners who domesticated themselves by choosing to walk toward our firelight. With ears that rotate 180 degrees like tiny radar dishes and DNA that is 95% identical to a tiger's, every cat is a biological masterpiece. Their purr isn't just a sound. It's a healing frequency that can help repair bone and tissue. Tonight, let the silent wisdom of these graceful hunters carry you toward a deep, restorative sleep. Welcome to this quiet space of discovery, where the boundaries between science and serenity gently blur. As we prepare to embark on this journey into the velvet-soft world of cats, I invite you to settle into the stillness, letting the weight of the day lift from your shoulders. Tonight, we turn our gaze toward a companion that has walked beside you for 10 millennia. A creature that is simultaneously a master of the wild and a guardian of the hearth. The ancient alliance. Close your eyes and let your mind drift back 10,000 years, to a time when the first flickers of civilization began to glow against the darkness of the prehistoric world. As your ancestors transitioned from the wandering life of the hunter-gatherer to the rhythmic cycles of the first farms, they unknowingly issued an invitation to the shadows. In those early granaries, where the harvest was stored against the winter, a new ecosystem emerged, drawing in small rodents that feasted on the abundance of grain. It was here, at the edge of the firelight, that the first wildcats appeared, not as captives, but as silent partners in a burgeoning alliance. Unlike the wolf, which was actively bred and shaped by human hands, the cat chose to domesticate itself, sensing a reliable hunting ground within the proximity of your settlements. This was a transformation born of mutual benefit and quiet observation, a predator that saw the value in your presence while fiercely guarding its own independence. Today, when you look at the cat resting on your rug, you are seeing the living legacy of those first wild souls who stepped out of the tall grass and decided that their future lay beside yours. The sacred bond. If you were to travel through time to the sun-drenched banks of the ancient Nile, you would find that this alliance had deepened into something profound and holy. In the kingdom of Egypt, cats were elevated beyond the role of simple hunters, becoming living vessels for the divine. You would see them depicted as the goddess Batet, a figure of grace and protection who mirrored the gentler, life-giving warmth of the sun. Families cherished these creatures so deeply that to cause one harm was considered a grave offense against the natural order, and the loss of a household cat was met with a grief so visceral that family members would shave their eyebrows as a public mark of their mourning. These cats were eventually sent into the afterlife with the same ceremonial care as kings, wrapped in fine linen and provided with offerings for their eternal journey. The Egyptians recognized a fundamental truth that still resonates today. The cat exists in a delicate equilibrium between the domestic and the wild, a silent bridge between the civilization you have built and the raw, untamed world from which they emerged. The architecture of awareness. Observe the cat resting near you in the stillness of the evening, and you will witness a masterpiece of biological engineering designed for total awareness. While you rely on sight to define your surroundings, the cat experiences the room as a complex landscape of sound, guided by ears that can rotate 180 degrees independently of one another. Controlled by 32 delicate muscles, these ears act as precision radar dishes, allowing the cat to point one toward a distant facility behind them while the other monitors a faint rustle in front. They are tuned to a frequency range that is entirely silent to you, detecting the ultrasonic calls of rodents and the infinitesimal vibration of an insect's wings in the grass. Even in the deepest state of repose, their awareness never truly fades. Those ears continue to twitch and swivel, scanning the environment for information even as the rest of the body surrenders to sleep. It is a constant, quiet vigil, a reminder that every fiber of their being is optimized for a level of sensory precision that remains almost magical to the human mind. The healing vibration. Much like the placebo effect we encountered earlier, where the belief in recovery can trigger a physical shift in the body's internal chemistry, a cat's purr serves as a hidden frequency of restoration that emanates from deep within their frame. This low, rhythmic rumble is far more than a simple expression of contentment. It is a biological tool for survival. Scientific research suggests that the vibration of a purr, typically falling between 25 and 50 hertz, matches the exact frequencies known to promote tissue regeneration and increase bone density. You may notice a cat purring not only when it is being petted, but also when it is injured, stressed, or even in the final moments of its life. A self-soothing mechanism designed to manage pain and accelerate the body's natural healing processes. For you, as you sit in the presence of this living resonator, the effect is equally profound. The vibration resonates with your own nervous system, lowering your blood pressure and inviting a deep, cumulative sense of calm. To rest beside a purring cat is to be enveloped in a sound that knits the spirit back together, a wordless lullaby that heals both the giver and the receiver. The art of rest. As we explored in our journey through the science of dreams, you might recall how the architecture of sleep serves as a vital sanctuary for the mind and body to repair. For the cat, this sanctuary is an expansive landscape, occupying between 16 and 20 hours of every single day. This is not the idleness of a lazy soul, but rather the strategic conservation of a master predator, an echo of their nature as ambush hunters who must store every ounce of energy for those short, explosive bursts of power required to catch their prey. When you watch your companion curled into a perfect, soft circle, they are often in a state of light dozing, their senses still tethered to the waking world and ready to spring into action at the slightest vibration. However, during the small portion of time, only about 25%, when they descend into the deep, restorative stages of REM sleep, you are witnessing a profound surrender. In these moments, you might see their paws twitch or hear small, muffled chirps as they replay the hunt within the theater of their mind, proving that even in their most peaceful stillness, the spirit of the wild never truly sleeps. They find the warmest patches of light and surrender to the silence, offering you a living lesson in the value of simply being at peace in a world that often demands constant motion. The sensitivity of silence. Beyond the grace of their sleep lies a sensory apparatus so fine that it allows them to navigate the world almost entirely through touch and vibration. The whiskers on your cat's face, technically known as vibrissae, are far more than mere decorative features. They are precision instruments deeply embedded in the body and directly connected to the nervous system. These specialized hairs are as wide as the cat's own frame, acting as a tactile guide that tells them, without the need for sight, whether they can slip through a narrow opening or if a space is too tight for passage. If the whiskers graze the sides of a gap, the cat's brain instantly receives a message to recalculate its path. But their awareness extends even further. They possess whiskers above their eyes to trigger a protective blink, and even on the backs of their front legs to sense the position of prey they have captured. These tools are so sensitive that they can detect minute changes in air currents, allowing a cat to map its environment in total darkness by feeling the proximity of objects. When you observe the subtle forward sweep of their whiskers as they investigate a new toy, or how they flatten against the face in moments of fear, you are reading a silent language of intention and survival written in the very air around them. The fluidity of form. The way a cat moves through your home, flowing like a liquid over the edges of furniture and through the smallest gaps, is the result of a skeletal design that seems to bend the very laws of physics. Unlike your own collarbone, which provides a rigid structure for your shoulders, the cat's collarbone is a small, free-floating bone embedded entirely within the muscle. This unique adaptation allows their shoulders to compress and move independently, enabling them to squeeze through any space their head can fit through. Their spine, too, is a marvel of biological engineering, containing around 53 vertebrae, nearly 20 more than your own, with elastic cushioning discs that allow for an almost supernatural range of motion. This incredible flexibility is what grants them their legendary agility, allowing them to twist their bodies mid-air and land gracefully on their feet through the riding reflex. Every step they take is a display of direct registering, where the back paw steps almost exactly where the front paw was, ensuring their movement is as silent as a shadow. It is a physical poetry that has been honed over millions of years, turning their every movement into a masterpiece of stealth and efficiency. The awakening of senses. This journey of grace begins in a state of utter vulnerability, as every kitten enters the world small, fragile, and completely dependent on the warmth of its mother. Born with their eyes sealed shut and their ears folded flat, they navigate their first week of life through the primal senses of touch and smell, finding their way to nourishment with unerring accuracy. It is around the 10th day that you would see the first glimpses of their awakening, as their eyes slowly open to reveal cloudy, pale blue irises. This blue is not their permanent color, but a temporary phenomenon caused by a lack of pigment, a hazy window that will eventually transform as specialized cells called melanocytes begin to deposit the rich ambers, greens, and golds of their maturity. By 3 weeks, their ears unfold and stand erect, inviting the symphony of the world to pour in for the first time. Watching this transformation, from a helpless bundle of fur into a coordinated hunter practicing its first pounce on a sibling's tail, is like witnessing the unfolding of a tiny miracle as they gradually awaken to the richness of the world you share. The biological signature. As they grow into their unique selves, they carry physical markers of individuality that are as distinct as your own. If you were to look closely at the nose of your companion, you would find a complex landscape of ridges and bumps that forms a pattern unlike any other cat in existence. A biological signature as unique as a human fingerprint. This individuality is mirrored in the whimsical language we have created to describe them. While a single cat is a marvel, a group of them is called a cloud, evoking images of soft, drifting presence, and a group of kittens is known as a kindle, a fitting term for the way they ignite warmth and light in any room they enter. Whether they carry the regal bearing of a queen or the bold spirit of a tom, their physical traits, from the unique positioning of their whiskers to the microscopic map of their nose, remind us that no two cats are ever truly the same. They are individual souls shaped by a mysterious alchemy of genetics and experience, each navigating their world with a personality and a presence that is entirely their own. The hidden veil. If you watch your companion as they begin to stir from a deep slumber, you might catch a glimpse of a thin, translucent membrane sliding across the corner of their eye before vanishing once more. This is the third eyelid, a hidden muophagic known as the nictitating membrane, which works silently to sweep away dust and maintain a perfect layer of moisture across the cornea. In the wild, this extra layer of protection was essential for an ancestor moving through sharp, tall grasses or engaging in the sudden intensity of a hunt. It is a quiet, elegant piece of anatomy that reminds us of their wild origins, a biological mechanism that ensures their most vital sense, their vision, remains clear and protected. Much like the complex internal systems we saw when exploring the science of mind over matter, this membrane operates without conscious thought, a testament to the intricate, self-regulating nature of their physical form. The scented map. For a cat, the world is not merely a collection of objects, but a rich, layered map written in molecules that are entirely invisible to your eyes. They experience their environment through a sophisticated olfactory system that is 14 times stronger than your own, supported by nearly 200 million scent receptors. When your cat approaches you and arches its back, rubbing its cheeks or head against your leg, it is engaging in a ritual called bunting. This is far more than a simple request for attention. It is a profound gesture of trust where the cat uses specialized glands on its face to mark you with its unique scent. By mingling its pheromones with yours, the cat is claiming you as a member of its social group, creating a shared family scent that signals safety and belonging in their world. This connects back to our exploration of social bonds and the immune system, showing how a sense of security and connection is fundamentally rooted in these biological exchanges of trust. The language of connection. While cats possess a complex array of body language and scent markers, they have also developed a vocal repertoire that is surprisingly vast, consisting of over 100 distinct sounds. Interestingly, the meow you hear every morning is a sound that has evolved almost exclusively for your benefit. In the wild, adult cats rarely meow at one another, relying instead on scent and subtle physical cues to communicate. However, over thousands of years of living beside you, they discovered that you respond to these vocalizations in a way that other cats do not. They have refined this skill, often tailoring the pitch and urgency of their meows to prompt a specific response, whether it is for food, an open door, or a moment of affection. When your cat meows at you, it is speaking a language designed specifically for the bridge between your two species, a linguistic tool that exists only in the space where your worlds overlap. The master of equilibrium. The legendary agility of a cat, their ability to navigate a narrow fence or a cluttered shelf with effortless grace, is governed by a highly developed vestibular system located deep within the inner ear. This internal guidance system provides them with an acute, constant awareness of their body's position in space, allowing them to make minute adjustments to their posture without a single conscious thought. This is the source of the righting reflex, a feat of natural acrobatics where a falling cat can rotate its head and spine midair to ensure it always lands on its feet. Just as we explored the incredible coordination involved in mental rehearsal, the cat's brain processes this spatial data in milliseconds, coordinating muscle and bone in a display of pure biological engineering. This sense of balance is so integral to their identity that it allows them to move through your home as if the laws of physics were merely a suggestion. The meditative ritual. If a cat is not sleeping or exploring, it is likely dedicated to the meticulous art of grooming, a task that occupies up to half of its waking hours. This repetitive motion is far more than a matter of cleanliness. It is a vital ritual for thermal regulation and stress relief. As they lick their fur, the evaporation of saliva provides a cooling effect, while the act itself triggers the release of endorphins that create a profound sense of calm. The tool for this task is the tongue, which is covered in hundreds of tiny, hook-shaped barbs called papillae. Made of keratin, the same resilient material as your own fingernails, these barbs act like a natural comb, detangling fur and distributing natural oils across the coat. When a cat grooms itself, or when two bonded cats engage in mutual allogrooming, they are practicing a form of self-care and social bonding that reinforces their emotional well-being. Watching this slow, deliberate process is a reminder of the importance of finding peace in simple, repetitive actions, a biological meditation that sustains both the body and the spirit. The hunter's gaze. When you look into the wide, luminous eyes of your cat, you are gazing into the optical tools of a master predator, evolved to thrive where light is scarce and movement is everything. While your own field of vision spans about 180 degrees, the cat possesses a panoramic view of 200 degrees, granting them a superior peripheral awareness that allows them to detect a flicker of movement on either side without ever turning their head. Their eyes are a study in biological compromise. They have sacrificed the vibrant colors and sharp distance details you enjoy for an extraordinary sensitivity to dim light. Deep within the retina, they possess a high concentration of rod cells, photoreceptors that excel at capturing motion and light, allowing them to see with remarkable clarity in conditions 6 to 8 times darker than what you would require. This low-light mastery is enhanced by the tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer behind the retina that acts like a biological mirror. When you see your cat's eyes glow with an otherworldly gold or green in the dark, you are witnessing this mirror at work, bouncing light back through the sensors to give them a second chance to capture every available photon. It is a vision built for the chase, where the world is not a map of colors, but a shifting landscape of light, shadow, and the sudden, electric spark of movement. The twilight hours. You might often imagine that the cat is a creature of the deep night, but their true realm is the alacrity of the twilight hours, the soft, blue moments of dawn, and the golden fade of dusk. Known as crepuscular animals, cats have inherited an internal clock from their wild ancestors that signals the peak of activity when the sun is low on the horizon. This rhythm is perfectly synchronized with the movement of their natural prey, such as birds and small rodents, who are also most active during these transitional times. In the safety of your home, this ancient instinct often manifests as the midnight zoom eyes, or a sudden burst of playful energy just as you are settling in for the night. It is not random behavior, but the firing of an ancient neural circuit, a biological command that tells the cat it is time to hunt, explore, and claim their territory under the cover of the dimming light. By understanding this natural tempo, you can see their evening play not as a disruption, but as a beautiful echo of a life lived in harmony with the rising and setting of the sun. The athletic surge. Beneath that calm, often lazy exterior lies a reservoir of explosive power that can be unleashed in a fraction of a second. When a cat prepares to leap, every muscle in their body coils like a high-tension spring, their eyes fixed on the target with a focus that is absolute. Those powerful hind legs, anchored by flexible joints, can propel a healthy cat to a height of 5 or 6 times their own body length in a single, effortless bound, allowing them to reach the top of a refrigerator or a high shelf as if gravity were merely a suggestion. This same athleticism allows them to reach speeds of up to 30 miles per hour in short, intense sprints, a velocity that is astonishing for a creature of their size. It is a display of pure, unadulterated power designed for the final, decisive rush of the hunt. After such an expenditure of energy, they return to their state of deep rest, their heart rate, which normally beats nearly twice as fast as yours, slowly returning to its quiet, rhythmic baseline. The tiger within. As you watch your cat stretch languidly or groom their fur with meticulous care, it may be humbling to realize that they share approximately 95% of their genetic makeup with the tiger. Despite the millennia of living by your hearth, the fundamental blueprint of the cat remains remarkably similar to those powerful predators prowling the jungles of the world. The retractable claws, the keen senses, and the flexible spine that allows your companion to flow through your home are the same evolutionary tools that make the tiger one of nature's most formidable hunters. When your cat stalks a toy or pounces on a feather, you are witnessing the exact predatory techniques and focus used by their larger cousins. They are, in a very real sense, a miniature tiger that has chosen to share its life with you, carrying the majesty and the mystery of the wild within a frame small enough to curl up in your lap. The internal tempo. While you rest beside your companion, you might occasionally feel the rapid, delicate flutter of their heart through their ribs. The internal metronome of a cat runs at a significantly faster pace than your own. While a healthy human heart beats between 60 and 100 times a minute, a cat's heart pulses at a rhythm of 140 to 220 beats per minute. This accelerated tempo is a reflection of their smaller frame and a higher metabolic rate, a biological necessity for a creature that loses heat more quickly than you do. This rapid heartbeat is also the engine behind their sudden, explosive bursts of activity, delivering life-sustaining oxygen to their muscles in the blink of an eye. It is a reminder that even in their most profound stillness, the life within that small, warm body is vibrating at a different, more intense frequency than yours. a silent, rapid drumming that sustains their every movement. The predatory palate. Much like the cumulative effects of habits we observed in our study of the mind, the cat's dietary needs are the result of millions of years of evolutionary specialization. As an obligate carnivore, the cat does not merely prefer meat. Its body is biologically incapable of thriving without the specific nutrients found exclusively in animal tissue. They require essential compounds like taurine for their heart and eyes, and preformed vitamin A, which they cannot synthesize from plants as you can. This singular focus on protein has even reshaped their sense of taste. Interestingly, cats are among the few mammals that completely lack the ability to taste sweetness, as they have no evolutionary need to identify the sugars found in fruits or honey. Their taste buds are instead calibrated to detect the savory richness of amino acids and the warning bitterness of potential toxins, ensuring their survival in a world where they are the ultimate specialists of the hunt. The invisible dialogue. Beyond the reach of your own senses lies a molecular conversation that cats are constantly tasting through a specialized organ located in the roof of their mouth. Known as the vomeronasal or Jacobson's organ, this sensory tool allows a cat to deeply analyze pheromones and chemical signals that regular sniffing cannot capture. You may have seen your cat pause after sniffing something, slightly opening its mouth and curling its lips in a strange, distant grimace. This is the flamen response. In this moment, they are drawing air over that specialized organ, decoding the social status, health, and identity of the creature that left the scent behind. For a cat, the world is a rich, invisible map of chemical messages, a silent language written in molecules that tells them exactly who has passed by and what stories they left in their wake. The flag of intention. A cat's tail is far more than a tool for balance. It is a living antenna that broadcasts their most private moods and intentions to the world. Unlike a dog whose wagging tail often signals joy, a cat's tail movement carries a different, more nuanced weight. A tail held high with a gentle curve at the tip is a warm greeting, a sign of a friend approaching with confidence and peace. However, if you see that tail begin to lash or thump rhythmically against the floor, it is a signal of rising agitation or overstimulation, a warning that the cat's internal patience is nearing its limit. When they are intensely focused on a bird or a toy, you might see just the tip of the tail twitching, a small physical leak of the intense predatory energy coiled within. By observing these subtle shifts, you begin to understand the silent symphony of their emotions, learning to respect the boundaries and the beauty of their wordless communication. The memory of comfort. There is a profound, rhythmic ritual many cats perform on soft blankets or even on your lap, a motion often called making biscuits or kneading. As they alternate their paws, pressing deeply into the fabric, they are returning to a primal memory of safety and nourishment from their first days of life. This behavior is a vestige of kittenhood, where the motion was used to stimulate milk flow from their mother. In adulthood, a cat only needs when they feel an absolute sense of contentment and security, associating you and your home with that same maternal warmth. Some cats become so lost in this meditative trance that they may even purr loudly or drool slightly, completely immersed in a moment of pure, ancestral comfort. It is a touching display of vulnerability, a sign that in your presence, they feel as safe and cherished as they did in their very first nest. The sovereign of heights. If you have ever found your companion watching you from the top of a high shelf or the refrigerator, you are witnessing the manifestation of an ancient survival instinct. In the wild, elevation provides a cat with a dual advantage. It is a fortress against ground-dwelling predators and a majestic vantage point to survey their territory for prey. This preference for vertical space remains a cornerstone of their psychological well-being. From a high perch, a cat feels a sense of sovereign control and security, able to monitor the flow of the household while remaining in a quiet retreat away from unwanted interaction. Providing these high thrones, allows them to express their natural identity, giving them a place where they can rest in a position of power and peace, surveying their domestic kingdom with the quiet dignity of their ancestors. The social architect. While cats are often portrayed as solitary figures wandering through the night, they possess a complex social intelligence that allows them to form deep, structured bonds with both their own kind and with you. In the wild, they may form colonies where resources are shared and a quiet order is maintained, a social structure reflected in the way they greet you with a gentle headbutt or a soft trill. As we saw in our exploration of mind over matter and the cumulative power of connection, these social interactions are not just about companionship. They are biological anchors that provide a sense of security and health. When a cat chooses to follow you from room to room or rests its head against your palm, it is not merely seeking a favor. It is recognizing you as a vital pillar of its social world, a partner in a shared territory where trust is the most valuable currency. The whiskers map. If you look closely at the face of your companion, you will see that the arrangement of their whiskers is far more than a random scatter of hairs. It is a unique configuration that serves as a sensory fingerprint. No two cats possess the exact same pattern of whisker placement, length, or thickness, making this delicate array a deeply personal interface between their mind and the world. These individual patterns influence how each cat perceives the invisible vibrations of the air and the subtle textures of their surroundings, shaping their unique sensory experience. It is a reminder that every cat is a distinct individual, navigating life through a specialized biological map that belongs to them and them alone, a testament to the intricate diversity that nature weaves into even the smallest details. The language of the gaze. In the quiet moments when your eyes meet those of your companion, you may notice a slow, deliberate blink, a gesture so soft it might be missed if you were not looking for it. In the language of the feline, a direct, unblinking stare is often a challenge of power, a predatory focus that signals intensity. Therefore, when a cat chooses to slowly close and open its eyes in your presence, it is offering a sign of profound vulnerability and trust. This is often called the cat kiss, a wordless declaration that they feel safe enough to momentarily shutter their most vital sense in your company. You can return this gesture, a slow, languid closing of your own eyes, to signal that you too are at peace, creating a silent, reciprocal bond of goodwill that transcends the need for touch or speech. The predatory play. Sometimes, as your cat stares through the window at a bird fluttering in a nearby tree, you might hear a strange, rhythmic chattering or a staccato clicking of the jaw. This behavior, often accompanied by a twitching tail and intense focus, is a fascinating window into the hunter's mind, a physical rehearsal of the killing bite that has been hardwired into their neural pathways for millions of years. Even though the glass remains an unbreakable barrier, the instinct to hunt is so powerful that the body begins to move in anticipation of the catch, releasing pent-up energy in these small, curious sounds. It is a reminder that even the most pampered house cat remains a creature of the wild at heart, forever attuned to the ancient dance of predator and prey that plays out just beyond the safety of your walls. The vocal spectrum. Just as humans vary in their desire for conversation, cats possess individual personalities that range from the deeply reserved to the wonderfully talkative. While some breeds, like the Siamese or the Oriental, are famous for their persistent and nuanced vocalizations, often engaging in what sounds like a true dialogue with their human partners, others may choose to navigate their entire lives in a dignified silence. This chattiness is often a learned behavior, a bridge built between your world and theirs, as they discover which sounds prompt you to open a door or offer a meal. Whether your companion is a quiet observer who speaks only with a look or a vocal friend who announces every arrival, their voice is a unique expression of their identity, a bridge of sound that keeps you connected in the stillness of your shared home. The wisdom of teaching. As we watch the kittens awaken to their senses earlier in our journey, we now witness the slow, patient unfolding of their education under the watchful eye of a mother. Around the 4th week of life, as the nest becomes a place of exploration rather than just a sanctuary, a mother cat begins her role as a primary teacher, guiding her young through the essential rituals of survival. In the wild, this begins with the presentation of prey, first dead, to allow the kittens to practice their grip and bite without risk, and eventually live, so they may refine the coordination of the stalk and the pounce. You may see this instinct flicker even in your own home when a mother cat brings a favorite toy to her kittens, dropping it with a specific, encouraging trill. This is not mere play. It is a fundamental transfer of knowledge, where every tumble and every mock battle is a lesson in coordination, boundary setting, and the ancestral art of the hunt. By observing and imitating her every move, the kittens are building the neural pathways that will define their confidence as adults, ensuring that the ancient wisdom of their lineage remains vibrant and unbroken. The specialized palate. When you offer a treat to your companion, it is interesting to consider that they are experiencing that flavor through a filter that is fundamentally different from your own. While your tongue is a landscape of nearly 9,000 taste buds, the cat possesses only about 470, a biological limitation that makes them far more reliant on the aroma and texture of their food than on its actual taste. Most notably, they inhabit a world entirely devoid of sweetness. Due to a genetic quirk in their evolutionary lineage as obligate carnivores, they lack the receptors to perceive the sugars that you find so appealing. Instead, their palate is finely tuned to the savory richness of amino acids and the sharp, warning bitterness of potential toxins. For a cat, a meal is a sensory evaluation of freshness and protein content, a survival-based analysis where the scent, 14 times stronger than yours, tells them almost everything they need to know before they even take a bite. The mechanics of the claw. A cat's claws are perhaps their most versatile and essential tools, yet they remain largely hidden, sheathed in velvet until the moment they are needed. Unlike the claws of a dog, which are always extended and prone to wear, the cat's claws are retractable, protected by specialized folds of skin and fur that keep them needle-sharp for climbing and defense. This design allows them to walk with the silent, muffled tread of a ghost, as their claws never touch the hard ground during a normal stride. When your cat scratches a post or the back of a chair, they are not merely being destructive. They are performing a vital act of physical maintenance. This ritual removes the worn outer sheaths of the claw to reveal the healthy, sharp layer beneath, while simultaneously stretching the powerful muscles of their shoulders and back. It is a dual process of grooming and exercise, a biological necessity that ensures their primary tools of survival are always ready, sharp, and strong. The navigational pull. There is a mysterious and enduring loyalty in the feline spirit, often manifesting in stories of cats traveling hundreds of miles through unfamiliar territory to find their way back to the hearth they call home. While science still seeks to fully map this incredible homing instinct, it is believed that cats navigate through a sophisticated combination of sensory data, utilizing their acute sense of smell and their awareness of the sun's position. Some researchers even suggest they may possess a sensitivity to the Earth's magnetic field, a biological compass that guides them across landscapes they have never seen. This homing ability is a testament to the profound bond they form with their territory and their family. For a cat, home is not merely a physical structure, but a deep, ancestral anchor in their mind. When they embark on these arduous journeys, they are following an invisible thread of connection, a pull towards safety and belonging that can overcome almost any obstacle. The gift of the hunt. As you rest in the quiet of your home, you might encounter a moment of profound confusion when your companion presents you with a gift from their hunt. A small, silent token left carefully on your doorstep or even upon your bed. While this gesture can be unsettling to your human sensibilities, it is one of the most significant indicators of the place you hold in your cat's social world. There are several beautiful theories that explain this behavior, suggesting that when a cat shares its catch with you, it is following a deep, ancestral instinct to provide for its family. Much like cats in a wild colony who share food to ensure the survival of the group, your companion may see you as a member of their kin, offering you a prize they have worked hard to secure. Another perspective suggests that they are attempting to act as a teacher, mirroring the way a mother cat brings prey to her kittens to help them develop their own hunting skills. In their eyes, you may seem like a somewhat incompetent hunter who needs a little help to thrive, and this gift is their way of including you in the essential cycles of their world. Regardless of the reason, to be presented with a gift of the hunt is a sign of immense trust and connection, a wordless declaration that you are a vital and cherished part of their private territory. The vulnerable trust. In the soft light of the evening, you may see your companion roll onto their back, exposing their soft, furry belly in a gesture that seems like a clear invitation for a rub. However, as many have learned through the sudden reach of a paw, this posture is one of the most frequently misunderstood signals in the feline language. In the world of the cat, the belly is the most vulnerable part of their anatomy, housing their vital organs and remaining instinctively protected from the threats of the wild. When a cat exposes their belly to you, they are not necessarily asking for touch. Rather, they are offering you a profound sign of relaxation and total trust. They are telling you that they feel so safe in your presence that they are willing to reveal their most defenseless side, assuming that you will respect that vulnerability. For many cats, a hand reaching for the belly can trigger a defensive response, not out of malice, but because the instinct to protect that sensitive area is so deeply hardwired. By observing their reaction and respecting their boundaries, perhaps choosing to pet their head or cheeks instead, you reinforce the foundation of security that allows your relationship to flourish in peace. The symphony of sound. While you settle into the stillness of the night, your cat is navigating a world that is vibrating with a symphony of sound that your own ears can never hope to capture. Their sense of hearing is one of the keenest among all mammals, allowing them to detect frequencies up to 64 kilohertz, far beyond the 20 kilohertz limit of your own hearing. This extraordinary range allows them to hear the ultrasonic whispers of rodents and the infinitesimal rustle of insects moving through the grass, turning a quiet room into a detailed map of acoustic information. For a cat, your home is never truly silent. They can hear the faint hum of electronics, the footsteps of neighbors through distant walls, and the subtle shifting of the house as it settles. Their large, mobile ears are constantly at work, swiveling like radar dishes to lock onto the exact location and distance of every sound, filtering the important from the mundane with effortless precision. Even when they appear to be in the deepest sleep, their ears remain alert, a silent sentinel that keeps them connected to the vibrant, invisible world of sound that surrounds you both. The fountain of instinct. You may have noticed that your companion is often fascinated by the sight of running water, perhaps ignoring a full bowl of still water to bat at a dripping faucet or drink from a flowing stream. This preference is not merely a quirk of curiosity, but a survival mechanism inherited from their wild ancestors who understood that in nature, moving water is almost always safer than stagnant pools. Still water can harbor unseen bacteria and parasites, while a flowing spring is more likely to be fresh and clean, a lesson that has been written into the feline genetic code for millions of years. In your home, this instinct persists, leading many cats to seek out the sound and movement of water as a signal of purity and safety. This is why many find that their cats are much more eager to stay hydrated when provided with a pet fountain that mimics the natural flow of a stream. Understanding this need is a simple way to honor their wild heritage while supporting their long-term health, particularly for their delicate kidney function. by providing them with the fresh, moving water their instincts crave. The extra toes. Among the many beautiful variations within the feline population, few are as charming as the presence of polydactyly, a genetic condition that results in a cat being born with extra toes. While most cats have 18 toes in total, polydactyl cats can have several more, often giving their paws a wide, mitten-like appearance that has fascinated humans for centuries. Historically, these cats were considered symbols of good luck by sailors, who believed that their larger, multi-toed paws provided them with better balance on the rocking decks of ships at sea. Perhaps the most famous admirer of these unique creatures was the writer Ernest Hemingway, who was gifted a six-toed cat and began a lineage that still thrives at his former home in Key West today. This trait is caused by a harmless dominant gene and does not interfere with a cat's mobility. In fact, many believe it enhances their ability to climb and grasp with even greater dexterity. These Hemingway cats are a living reminder of the wonderful genetic diversity that exists within the species, a small and harmless mutation that adds yet another layer of individuality to the companion resting by your side. The spectrum of spirit. You may look at the color of your companion's coat and wonder if it holds a secret to their soul, a visible map of the temperament that lives within the grace of their movement. While every cat is a unique individual, science has long observed intriguing correlations between the pigments of their fur and the patterns of their personality. You might notice that ginger or orange cats are often described as particularly sociable and outgoing, perhaps because the gene for this vibrant coloring is linked to the X chromosome, making these friendly spirits more commonly male. If you share your life with a tortoiseshell or a calico, you may have encountered that spirited, independent fire often called tortitude, a lively personality that belongs almost exclusively to the female lineage of these multicolored cats. You see the gentle black cat, once shadowed by the weight of ancient superstition, yet now recognized as one of the most affectionate and peaceful companions you could invite into your home. Even the striking white cat with blue eyes carries a unique story within its genetics, as it may navigate a world of silence due to a hereditary link with deafness, requiring a deeper level of nonverbal connection with you. These colors are not merely aesthetic choices of nature, but a quiet language of inheritance that shapes how your cat experiences and interacts with the world. The feline voyager. Beyond the boundaries of our world, there is a small and often forgotten story of a cat who touched the stars, a reminder of the many creatures who have contributed to our journey into the unknown. On a quiet October day in 1963, a small black and white stray from Paris named Felicette was launched into the vastness of space by the French research program. You can imagine her experiencing 5 minutes of pure weightlessness, her brain activity monitored by electrodes that provided vital data on how the mind functions when the laws of gravity no longer apply. Felicette survived her journey, returning to Earth as the first and only feline astronaut, a silent pioneer of the cosmos whose contribution was largely overlooked for decades. In recent years, her courage has finally been honored with a statue, a tribute that reminds you that the feline spirit is not only a master of the hearth, but a participant in the grandest explorations of human history. The echoes of experience. Within the neural pathways of your companion, time is not measured in minutes, but in the weight of significant moments and the durability of memory. You may find it remarkable that a cat can remember the exact location of a safe hiding spot or a reliable food source for years, navigating through their world with a map built on the lessons of survival. This long-term memory is especially potent when tied to emotion. A cat may carry the lingering shadow of a traumatic encounter with a dog or a stressful visit to the veterinarian for their entire life. Conversely, they possess an associative memory that allows them to recognize the sound of your car or the specific tone of your voice as a signal of safety and affection. They listen to you, capable of distinguishing your call from the voices of 1,000 strangers, yet they may choose to respond with only the subtle flick of an ear, not out of a lack of love, but out of the fierce independence of a soul that makes its own choices. This selective response is a hallmark of your partnership, a reminder that their presence in your life is a gift freely given, a bond built on trust rather than obligation. The sacred mourning. When you consider the depth of the grief you feel at the loss of a feline friend, you are following a path worn smooth by the ancient Egyptians, who mourned their cats with a public and visceral devotion. In that sun-drenched land, the passing of a household cat was a significant communal event, and family members would shave their eyebrows as a sign of their sorrow. You see the image of these ancient people treating the body of a cat with the same ritualistic honor as that of a highborn human, wrapping them in fine linen and providing them with offerings for the eternal journey into the afterlife. For them, the cat was a sacred bridge between the mundane and the divine, a creature deserving of honor in death just as they were cherished in life. This ancient practice reflects a fundamental truth that remains today, that cats are not merely animals, but family, and the bond we share with them is a connection that transcends the boundaries of time and culture. The sensitive step. As your cat walks across the floor or settles onto your lap, their paws are doing far more than carrying them. They are reading the world with a sensitivity that borders on the extraordinary. You can feel the delicate pads that house numerous nerve endings, capable of detecting the faint vibrations of the ground that might alert them to the movement of a hidden rodent. These paws are also the primary tools for the intimate ritual of grooming, allowing your cat to reach the quiet corners of their face and ears where their tongue cannot go. When they reach out to touch your hand with a soft paw, they are using a sensory instrument of remarkable precision, a tool that has been honed over millions of years for both the hunt and the expression of trust. The silent sufferer. This independent spirit carries with it a burden of ancient survival, the instinct to never appear weak or vulnerable in the face of the wild. You understand that your cat is a master of hiding illness, a trait inherited from ancestors who knew that predators target the sick and the struggling. Because of this, you must be a vigilant observer of the smallest shifts in their behavior, noticing when they spend more time hiding or when their appetite begins to fade, even if they continue to groom and move with their usual grace. This silence is not a lack of trust, but a biological imperative, requiring you to be a mindful guardian who can hear the quiet signals they give when they are in need of your care. The rhythm of the hearth. While they do not measure time in the way you do, your cat is a master of the household's rhythm, predicting your arrival or the moment of a meal through the angle of the sun and the familiar sounds of the house settling. They join a long lineage of companions who have inspired the minds of history's greatest creators, from the writer Ernest Hemingway, who was devoted to his six-toed cats, to the scientist Albert Einstein, who found comfort in their quiet presence. Whether they are lounging in a sunlit courtyard or perched on the desk of a statesman, they offer a companionship that asks for little but gives the world a sense of restful peace. Their presence is a constant, a reassuring anchor in a world that is often noisy and fast, teaching you the value of routine and the beauty of simply being. The final surrender. As our gentle journey through the world of cats draws to a close, you are left with the quiet wisdom of a creature that knows exactly when to hunt and when to surrender to stillness. They remind you that grace can be found in the simplest movement, that rest is not laziness but a necessary sanctuary for the soul, and that affection given freely is the most precious gift of all. Now you can let your own breathing slow, matching the rhythmic rise and fall of a cat curled in perfect contentment beside you, and allow the peace of their presence to carry you into the deep rest of the night. Sink into the stillness, for the cats of the world are keeping watch in the twilight, purring in the dark, and guiding you toward a morning filled with quiet grace. The mirror of the mind. While your companion may seem like a mysterious and alien presence at times, Their internal world is built upon a neurological foundation that is remarkably familiar to your own. Science reveals that a cat's brain structure is approximately 90% similar to yours, containing a cerebral cortex divided into lobes responsible for processing sensory data, making complex decisions, and storing the echoes of the past. This shared architecture allows them to experience a rich spectrum of emotions, fear, joy, anger, and affection, that resonate with the same biological depth that you feel. Much like the complex interplay of neurotransmitters we observed when exploring the science of mind over matter, the cat's brain is a highly efficient engine of awareness, finely tuned for the split-second coordination of the hunt and the long-term bonds of social life. This profound similarity is the silent bridge that allows for the deep understanding and connection you feel when your eyes meet theirs, a reminder that you are not so different in the way you perceive and react to the beauty of the world. The vulnerable expression. In the quietest moments of your shared life, you may encounter a charming and unexpected sign of total surrender, a small, glistening drop of drool appearing as your cat purrs in your lap. While this is often associated with other animals, in a cat, it is a symptom of extreme contentment and a level of relaxation so deep that their body momentarily loses control over salivation. This happy drool usually occurs when they are being petted in just the right spot, their eyes half closed and their paws rhythmically kneading into your skin. It is a moment of pure, unguarded vulnerability, a physical testament to the profound peace they find in your company and the absolute trust they have placed in your hands. To see your cat so immersed in happiness that they forget their usual dignified reserve is one of the most tender honors a companion can receive. The windows of emotion. The eyes of your cat are not only tools for low-light vision, but also vibrant windows that broadcast their most private emotional shifts through the constant movement of their pupils. In a single moment, you might see their pupils transform from narrow, protective vertical slits into wide, luminous circles that swallow the iris entirely. While this dramatic shift is a biological response to the available light, protecting the sensitive retina or inviting in every stray photon, it is also a direct reflection of their internal adrenaline. When your cat is excited by play, startled by a sound, or focused on a distant target, their pupils dilate as part of an ancient survival response, preparing their mind for immediate action. By learning to read these shifting circles in combination with the language of their ears and tail, you gain a deeper insight into the electric currents of their thoughts, understanding when they are at peace and when they are ready to leap into the fray. The historical shadow. Throughout the long tapestry of human history, the cat has been shrouded in a veil of superstition and myth that has shaped their journey alongside us in both beautiful and tragic ways. In the shadowed corridors of medieval Europe, their mysterious nature led many to associate them with witchcraft, believing they were supernatural familiars or even shapeshifters dwelling in the darkness. This fear led to widespread persecution. Yet the tragic irony of history reveals that the loss of these silent hunters likely allowed the rodent population to flourish, contributing to the spread of the bubonic plague. In other corners of the world, however, the cat remained a symbol of grace and fortune, such as the Manekiniko in Japan, the beckoning cat believed to bring prosperity and protection to the home. These stories remind you that our fascination with cats is as old as civilization itself, a blend of wonder and mystery that continues to define their place in our hearts today. The ritual of the greeting. You may find it puzzling or even slightly humorous when your companion approaches you and turns around to present their rear end directly to your face. While this might seem like a breach of etiquette in your world, in the language of the feline, it is a gesture of immense trust and a friendly opening to a shared dialogue. Cats possess specialized scent glands in this area that provide a wealth of information about their identity, their health, and even their current mood, a biological signature they are offering for your review. By presenting themselves in this way, they They are treating you as a trusted member of their kin, inviting you to know them as fully as another cat would. It is a sign of openness and social bonding, a reminder that they communicate through a rich, olfactory landscape that exists just beyond the reach of your own senses. The architect of time. While a cat may not understand the ticking of a clock, they possess a remarkable ability to perceive the passage of time through the steady, predictable rhythms of your home. They anchor their internal clock to environmental cues, the shifting angle of sunlight across the floor, the specific sounds of you preparing for work, or the familiar vibrations of your car returning in the evening. This sensitivity to routine allows them to anticipate the moment of their next meal, or the exact time you will settle onto the couch for a shared rest. This deep reliance on predictability is why sudden changes in the household schedule can be so unsettling for them, as it disrupts the invisible map they use to navigate their day. In their world, a consistent routine is a source of profound security, a steady heartbeat that allows them to exist in a state of quiet and confident peace. The startled shadow. When a sudden sound pierces the silence of your room, or an unfamiliar presence enters their space, you may see your companion undergo a dramatic and visceral transformation. In a heartbeat, their back arches into a high, pronounced curve and their fur begins to bristle, a biological reaction called pyoerection. By puffing up their coat and turning their tail into a bristling bottle brush, the cat is attempting to appear much larger and more intimidating than they truly are, an ancient bluff designed to deter a potential aggressor in the wild. This transformation is often accompanied by a sideways stance, presenting their largest possible profile to the perceived threat. It is important to remember that this display is born of fear rather than malice. It is a window into a mind that has momentarily returned to the instincts of a vulnerable ancestor. In these moments, your role as a guardian is to move slowly and speak softly, providing them with the safety and time they need for the adrenaline to fade and their spirit to return to its quiet equilibrium. The threshold of the soul. The blueprint of a cat's personality is often sketched during a very specific and fleeting window of time, known as the socialization period. Occurring between the ages of 2 and 7 weeks, this is a critical phase when a kitten's mind is most receptive to new experiences, sights, and sounds. Much like the neural pathways we explored when looking at how early habits are formed, the interactions a kitten has during these few weeks will shape their comfort and confidence for the rest of their life. A kitten that is handled gently by many different people and exposed to a variety of social situations during this time is far more likely to grow into a relaxed and adaptable adult. Conversely, those who lack these positive encounters may carry a lingering shyness or fear into their maturity, requiring much more patience and understanding from their human companions. This window is a reminder of the profound impact of early experiences and the delicate responsibility of nurturing a young soul as it first awakens to the complexity of the world. The gentle twilight. As the years turn into a soft, slow rhythm, you may find that your companion's average lifespan of 12 to 15 years allows for a long and beautiful sunset to your time together. While kittens are defined by their explosive energy, senior cats often enter a period of deepening affection, seeking out your company and the warmth of your lap with a new and quiet intensity. This shift often occurs because an aging cat may feel more vulnerable, finding a profound sense of security in the predictable presence of their trusted human. You may notice them following you from room to room more frequently, or choosing to sleep closer to you at night, their once independent spirit finding a new anchor in your shared bond. This increased need for closeness is a gift, a testament to a relationship that has been built on a foundation of trust over a decade or more. Caring for a senior cat, moving at their slower pace, and providing them with extra warmth and soft places to rest is one of the most tender ways to honor the loyalty they have given you throughout their life. The silence of the sick. This independence, while one of the most admirable traits of the cat, carries with it a silent and ancient burden: the instinct to hide any sign of weakness or illness. In the wild, a predator that appears sick or injured becomes a target, and this biological imperative persists in your domestic companion today. A cat may continue to groom, move, and even eat normally while harboring a significant internal struggle, only revealing their distress when it can no longer be contained. Because of this, you must be a mindful and observant guardian, learning to recognize the most subtle shifts in their daily rituals. A slight change in their appetite, a new habit of hiding in dark corners, or a subtle decrease in their grooming can be the quietest of signals that they are in need of your care. By being attuned to their normal rhythms, you become their silent advocate, hearing the messages they cannot speak and ensuring their health is protected with the same vigilance they use to protect their own pride. The companion of genius. It is perhaps no surprise that some of the most creative and profound minds in human history have sought the quiet companionship of a cat while they worked to change the world. You are part of a lineage that includes writers like Mark Twain, who filled his home with feline friends, and Ernest Hemingway, whose devotion to his multi-toed cats created a legacy that still thrives in Key West today. Scientists like Albert Einstein found comfort in their presence, and artists like Picasso and Andy Warhol often captured the mysterious grace of the cat in their most famous works. Even leaders like Winston Churchill relied on the calming presence of a cat during the most turbulent hours of history. These great thinkers recognized that the cat offers a unique form of companionship, one that does not demand attention but provides a restful, silent witness to the creative process. In the company of a cat, the mind is allowed to settle, and the spirit is reminded of the simple, enduring beauty of being present in the moment. The mirror of the pupil. Your companion's eyes are far more than just sophisticated tools for low-light hunting. They are vibrant indicators of their internal emotional state, where the pupils can shift from narrow, protective vertical slits in the brilliance of the sun to wide, luminous circles that swallow the iris in a moment of intense focus or fear. This dramatic expansion is not merely a biological response to a lack of light. It is a direct reflection of an adrenaline response, preparing the cat's mind for immediate action by inviting every available photon of information into their awareness. When you see those wide, dark circles even in a brightly lit room, you are witnessing a mind that is fully engaged, perhaps poised for play, or sensing a hidden danger that you have yet to perceive. Conversely, a relaxed and content cat may maintain narrower pupils even in dim light, signaling a spirit that is at peace with its surroundings. The independent listener. You may find it both charming and perhaps a bit frustrating when you call your companion's name from across the room, only to be met with the subtle, acknowledging flick of an ear rather than a physical approach. Research into feline behavior suggests that while cats can clearly distinguish your voice from a sea of strangers, they often choose not to respond, not out of a lack of intelligence or affection, but because they possess a fierce, solitary autonomy. Unlike dogs, who have been bred for thousands of years to respond immediately to human commands, cats are by nature independent partners who exercise their own agency. When they do choose to come when called or to seek out your company, it feels all the more meaningful because it is a gesture freely given, a bond built on mutual respect rather than a requirement of servitude. The window of the soul. The blueprint of a cat's unique personality is often drawn during a fleeting and critical window known as the socialization period, occurring between 2 and 7 weeks of age. Much like the neural pathways we saw being built in Pecosperm in our exploration of the science of dreams, the experiences a kitten has during these few weeks, the gentle touch of human hands, the sounds of a busy home, and the sight of other animals, shape their confidence and comfort for the rest of their lives. A kitten that is nurtured and exposed to a variety of social situations during this time is far more likely to grow into a relaxed and adaptable adult. Conversely, those who lack these positive encounters may carry a lingering shyness or fear into their maturity, requiring a deeper level of patience and understanding from their human guardians to feel truly secure. The mitten paws. In the vast world of genetic wonders, few traits are as iconic as polydactyly, a harmless condition where a cat is born with extra toes that give their paws a wide, mitten-like appearance. Sailors once cherished these unique companions as symbols of good luck, believing their larger, multi-toed paws provided superior balance and climbing ability on the rocking decks of ships at sea. This tradition of affection was famously shared by the writer Ernest Hemingway, whose legacy of six-toed cats still thrives in his former home in Key West today, where they are celebrated as living pieces of history. These extra toes are a reminder of the beautiful diversity within the species, a small mutation that adds another layer of individuality to the companion resting by your side. The first feline astronaut. Beyond the hearth and the fields of earth, the feline spirit has even touched the silent vastness of space in the form of a small black and white stray from Paris named Felicette. In 1963, she was launched into the unknown, experiencing 5 minutes of pure weightlessness while electrodes monitored her neurological activity to provide scientists with vital data on how the brain functions in zero gravity. Felicette survived her journey, returning to Earth as a silent pioneer of the cosmos, yet her contribution was largely forgotten for decades until a statue was finally unveiled in her honor in 2018. Her story is a poignant reminder of the many animals who have contributed to human exploration, a testament to the courage hidden within even the smallest and most familiar frames. The gentle senior years. As the years turn into a soft, slow rhythm, you may find that your companion enters a period of deepening affection, seeking out your company with a new and quiet intensity as they reach their senior years. While an average cat lives between 12 and 15 years, many live far longer, and as they age, they often become calmer and more interested in the security of your presence. This shift often occurs because an aging cat may feel more vulnerable or experience the stiffness of arthritis, finding profound comfort in the warmth of your lap and the predictability of your shared routine. Caring for a senior cat, moving at their slower pace, and honoring the loyalty they have given you over a decade or more is one of the most tender aspects of the human-feline bond. The microscopic marvel. If you have ever felt the rough, sandpaper-like touch of your cat's tongue against your skin, you have felt one of nature's most efficient tools for both survival and social bonding. Those hundreds of tiny, backward-facing barbs, known as papillae, are crafted from the same resilient keratin that forms your own fingernails, serving as a biological comb that untangles fur and distributes natural oils with every stroke. This meticulous grooming, which occupies nearly half of their waking hours, is not merely a matter of cleanliness. It is a vital ritual for temperature regulation and a profound source of stress relief through the release of calming endorphins. Much like the meditative practices we explored when looking at how the mind can influence the body's internal state, this repetitive motion allows the cat to find a deep, quiet center within themselves, turning an act of hygiene into a moment of profound tranquility. When they groom you, they are not only cleaning, they are incorporating you into their family, treating you with the same intimate care they would offer to a trusted kin. The physics of silence. When you watch your companion move through the shadows of your home, you are witnessing a level of stealth that has been refined over millions of years through a unique gait known as direct registering. As they step, their back paw lands almost precisely in the footprint left by the front paw, a tested and silent path that minimizes the chance of a snapping twig or a rustling leaf alerting a hidden prey. This precise, economical movement ensures that they remain the ultimate masters of the silent approach, flowing through space with a grace that seems to ignore the very friction of the world. It is a physical poetry that allows them to walk along the narrowest ledges or slip through the smallest gaps with a confidence that borders on the magical, their bodies bending the laws of physics to suit their quiet purposes. The genetic shadow. It may be humbling to realize that the gentle creature purring in your lap shares a staggering 95% of its DNA with the tiger, the majestic predator of the jungle. This genetic blueprint means that the same sharp, retractable claws, the same flexible spine, and the same predatory focus you see during playtime are the very tools used by their larger cousins in the wild. When your cat stalks a simple feather or pounces on a toy, you are seeing a miniature tiger in action, an ancient spirit of the hunt that has found a place of peace within your home. Their every stretch and yawn is an echo of the great cats of the world, a reminder that while they have chosen to live beside you, they carry the power and the mystery of the untamed wilderness within their small, graceful frames. The chemical dialogue. Beyond the reach of your own senses, your cat is navigating a rich, invisible world of chemical signals, a silent conversation written in pheromones and scents that are 14 times stronger than what you can perceive. When they rub their cheeks against your hand, a behavior called bunting, they are not just asking for affection, they are claiming you as a member of their kin, marking you with invisible molecules that signal safety and belonging to the entire feline world. This is a deep, biological declaration of trust, a way of mingling your identities into a shared family scent that anchors them to the sanctuary of your home. This connects back to our exploration of social bonds and how they act as a buffer against the stresses of the world, showing that for a cat, scent is the foundation of a secure and harmonious life. The celestial pioneer. History also tells us the story of Felicette, a small black and white stray from the streets of Paris who, in 1963, became the first and only cat to travel into the silent vastness of space. Fitted with electrodes to monitor her neurological activity, she experienced 5 minutes of weightlessness, providing scientists with invaluable data on how the brain functions when removed from the pull of the earth. Though her journey was brief, she survived and returned as a silent pioneer of the cosmos, a reminder that the feline spirit is not only a master of the hearth, but a participant in the grandest human quests for understanding. In recent years, her courage has finally been honored with a statue, ensuring that her contribution to the history of exploration is never forgotten. The engineering of the leap. When you observe your cat preparing to move from the floor to the high sanctuary of a bookshelf, you are witnessing a masterclass in coiling potential energy. Every muscle in those powerful hind legs is a study in athletic power, capable of propelling a healthy cat to a height of 5 or 6 times its own body length in a single, silent explosion of energy. This jumping ability is not merely a household quirk. It is a fundamental survival tool inherited from wild ancestors who needed to pounce on prey from above or escape a predator in a heartbeat. This physical prowess is supported by a spine that contains around 53 vertebrae, nearly 20 more than your own, with elastic cushioning discs that allow for an almost liquid range of motion. As they launch into the air, their spine acts like a high-tension spring, elongating to increase their reach and then compressing to gather energy for the landing. It is a display of pure biological engineering, where every bone and tendon works in perfect, rhythmic harmony to defy the very pull of the earth. The sensory map of the whisker. As your companion navigates the dim hallways of your home, they are guided by a tactile system so sensitive that it can detect the infinitesimal shifting of air currents. These whiskers, or vibrissae, are not merely hairs, but precision instruments deeply embedded in the nervous system, providing a constant stream of data about the proximity of objects and the width of openings. You might notice that a cat's whiskers are approximately as wide as its body, allowing it to perform a rapid, instinctive calculation of whether its frame can fit through a narrow gap without ever having to touch the sides. This sensitivity is so profound that some cats experience a condition known as whisker fatigue, where the constant stimulation of their whiskers against the sides of a deep food bowl becomes overwhelming, leading to a visible stress that only a shallower dish can soothe. Beyond the face, they carry these sensors above their eyes to trigger a protective blink, and on the backs of their front legs to sense the exact position of prey they have captured. To respect a cat's whiskers is to understand that they are navigating a world of tactile detail that remains entirely invisible to your own touch. The specialized palate of the hunter. Much like the cumulative effects of habits we observed in our study of the mind, the cat's dietary needs are the result of millions of years of evolutionary specialization as an obligate carnivore. Their bodies are not merely designed for meat. They are biologically dependent on it, requiring specific nutrients like taurine for the health of their heart and eyes, and arachidonic acid found only in animal fats. This singular focus has even reshaped their sense of taste. While you possess nearly 9,000 taste buds, a cat has only about 470, and they completely lack the receptors to perceive sweetness. They do not beg for a bite of cake out of a lack of restraint, but because they genuinely cannot perceive the sugary flavors you find so appealing. Instead, their palate is calibrated to detect the savory richness of amino acids and the warning bitterness of toxins, a sensory filter perfectly tuned for a predator whose life depends on the quality of the meat it finds. The invisible alchemist of scent. While you settle into the stillness of your home, your cat is experiencing a layer of reality written in molecules, guided by a sense of smell that is 14 times stronger than your own. With nearly 200 million scent receptors, their nasal tissues act as a sophisticated laboratory, decoding the identity, health, and emotional state of every living thing that has crossed their path. They possess a specialized organ in the roof of their mouth called the vomeronasal, or Jacobson's organ, which allows them to taste the air through the phlegm in response. When you see your cat pause with a slight grimace, curling its lips to draw air over this organ, it is performing a deep analysis of pheromones that regular sniffing could never capture. Through this silent language of molecules, they maintain a rich, layered map of their environment, a conversation written in scents that allows them to understand the world with a depth that remains a mystery to the human mind. The Chronicles of the Hearth. Throughout the long history of our shared lives, some of the most profound minds have found sanctuary and inspiration in the quiet presence of a cat. You follow in a lineage of companionship that includes the writer Mark Twain, who filled his home with feline friends, and the scientist Albert Einstein, who was known to offer comfort to his cat, Tiger, when the creature appeared sad. You see the image of Winston Churchill finding a moment of peace with his marmalade cat, Jock, during the most turbulent hours of the war, and Ernest Hemingway, whose devotion to his polydactyl cats created a legacy that still flourishes today. These notable figures recognize that a cat offers a unique form of companionship, one that does not demand attention but provides a restful, silent witness to the creative process. Whether in the studio of Picasso or the study of a statesman, the presence of a cat reminds us of the value of quiet rituals and the simple, enduring beauty of a soft purr in the darkness. The rhythmic engine of the purr. While you rest beside your companion and feel the steady, comforting rumble of their purr, you are experiencing a biological mystery that has fascinated scientists for generations. It is now understood that this sound is produced by the rapid, involuntary vibration of the muscles within the feline larynx, or voice box, which open and close the space between the vocal cords at a staggering rate of 25 to 50 times per second. This rhythmic movement creates an internal oscillation that vibrates the air as the cat breathes both in and out, allowing them to maintain a continuous, unbroken song of contentment that most mammals cannot replicate. As we explored in our journey through the science of mind over matter, this frequency is not merely a byproduct of happiness. It is a therapeutic vibration that falls within a range known to promote the healing of bones and the regeneration of tissue. Whether they are nursing kittens, recovering from an injury, or simply dreaming in your lap, this internal engine serves as a constant, quiet source of biological maintenance, a self-soothing mechanism that weaves a tapestry of healing throughout their entire being. The millisecond flip of the writing reflex. The legendary ability of a cat to land on its feet is not a matter of luck, but a feat of natural acrobatics known as the writing reflex, which begins to develop when a kitten is only a few weeks old. When a cat begins to fall, its highly developed vestibular system deep within the inner ear immediately signals which way is up, initiating a complex rotation that starts with the head and front legs and finishes with the spine and hind legs. Because they possess a free-floating collarbone embedded in muscle rather than attached to the skeleton, they can twist the front and back halves of their body independently, allowing them to flip right side up even during a very short fall. Much like the coordination we observed in the neuroscience of dreaming, this process occurs within milliseconds, where every vertebrae and tendon works in perfect harmony to prepare the cat for a graceful landing. While this reflex is a testament to their evolutionary refinement, it is not a guarantee of safety from extreme heights, serving instead as a delicate survival mechanism that allows them to navigate the vertical world of their ancestors with a confidence that seems almost magical. The ghostly tread of direct registering. If you have ever watched your cat walk across a snow-covered yard or a dusty shelf, you may have noticed that their back paw lands almost precisely in the footprint left by the front paw. This unique gait, called direct registering, is a masterclass in stealth and efficiency that has been honed over millions of years of predatory success. By placing their rear paw in a spot that has already been tested and silenced by the front paw, the cat minimizes the chance of a snapping twig or a rustling leaf alerting their prey to their presence. This precise economy of movement also improves their balance and coordination on narrow surfaces like tree branches or fences, allowing them to move through your home as if they were a silent, liquid shadow. It is a small but profound detail of their anatomy that reveals the deep evolutionary refinement of the cat's body, where every step is a calculated act of grace designed for the quiet pursuit of the hunt. The architecture of the feline mind. While the cat may seem like an alien presence in your home, their brain structure is remarkably similar to your own, sharing approximately 90% of the same neurological architecture. Both you and your companion possess a cerebral cortex divided into lobes responsible for processing sensory data, making complex decisions, and storing the long-term memories of your shared life. They experience a rich spectrum of emotions, fear, joy, anger, and affection, that are supported by the same gray and white matter and the same neurotransmitters that facilitate your own thoughts. As we explored in our study of dreams and memory, this shared foundation is what makes the bond between humans and cats so profound. You are not merely caring for an animal, but interacting with a sentient being whose internal world is built on a framework of awareness and precision. Their brain is a highly efficient engine, optimized for the split-second coordination of the hunt, while remaining capable of forming deep, lasting attachments to the people and territories they call home. The selective sentinel of the home. You may find it occasionally frustrating when you call your companion's name and receive only a subtle flick of an ear in response. But science has shown that they can distinguish your voice from a sea of strangers with remarkable clarity. When they choose not to physically approach you, it is not because they lack intelligence or affection, but because they possess a fierce, solitary autonomy inherited from ancestors who did not rely on pack cooperation. Unlike dogs, who have been bred over millennia to respond immediately to human commands, cats are independent partners who exercise their own agency in every interaction. They recognize your call and the specific tone of your voice as a signal of safety and connection, yet they retain the sovereign right to respond only when the situation warrants their attention. This independence is a cornerstone of their identity, a reminder that their presence in your life is a gift freely given, a bond built on mutual respect and the quiet, voluntary choice to walk beside you. The engineering of the edge. If you observe the ears of your companion in the stillness of the room, you are watching two of the most sophisticated radar systems in the natural world. Each ear is governed by 32 individual muscles, allowing them to swivel 180 degrees independently of one another. This allows a cat to keep one ear focused on the soft rustle of a toy in front of them, while the other monitors a faint, distant sound behind them. Their hearing is a masterpiece of high-frequency detection, capable of capturing sounds up to 64,000 hertz, far beyond the 20,000 hertz threshold of your own ears. This specialized range allows them to hear the ultrasonic whispers of rodents, turning a room that seems silent to you into a vibrant, acoustic map. Even in the deepest sleep, these ears remain alert, constantly twitching and rotating to filter the important from the mundane, acting as a silent sentinel for their survival. The molecular messenger. While you navigate the world through sight, your cat inhabits a reality defined by an invisible layer of molecular data. With nearly 200 million scent receptors in their nasal tissues, compared to your own 5 million, their sense of smell is roughly 14 times stronger than yours. This olfactory mastery allows them to identify individuals, detect health status, and navigate social structures through invisible scent marks. Beyond simple sniffing, they possess the vomeronasal, or Jacobson's organ, located in the roof of their mouth. When you see your cat pause with its mouth slightly open in the flamen response, it is drawing air over this organ to taste complex chemical signals like pheromones. Through this silent, chemical dialogue, they read a message written in molecules, understanding the history and the presence of everyone who has moved through their territory. The calculus of the pounce. The hunting behavior of a cat is not a random act of aggression, but a highly refined sequence that has remained virtually unchanged for millions of years. It begins with the stalk, where the cat lowers its body to the ground, its every movement slow and deliberate as it assesses the distance with pinpoint depth perception. This is followed by a period of intense stillness, where every muscle is coiled like a high-tension spring, and the only movement might be the faint, electric twitch of the tail. Then comes the pounce, a sudden, explosive release of power from the hind legs that can propel them forward in a fraction of a second. This sequence is so deeply hardwired into their neural pathways that even an indoor cat who has never seen prey will practice these exact movements during play. For the cat, the chase is a biological necessity, a rhythmic expression of their identity as the ultimate pusu of Saisai. The thermal sanctuary. One of the most iconic images of feline peace is a cat stretched out in a patch of golden sunlight. This preference for warmth is deeply rooted in their biology. A cat's normal body temperature is slightly higher than yours, typically ranging between 101 and 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit. To maintain this warmth without constant metabolic effort, they seek out radiant heat sources like sunbeams, which allow their muscles and joints to relax more deeply. This attraction to warmth may be a lingering instinct from their desert-dwelling ancestors, who utilized the sun to conserve the energy needed for their twilight hunts. By providing them with these sunny sanctuaries, you are supporting a biological requirement for comfort and energy conservation, allowing them to drift into a state of profound, restorative rest. The social tapestry. While often viewed as solitary, cats maintain their social harmony through a series of intimate physical rituals. One of the most important is allogrooming, where two bonded cats lick each other's fur. This behavior is a profound expression of trust and affection, helping to distribute a shared social scent and reinforce the bonds of their group. As we explored in our journey through the science of mind over matter, These social connections are vital anchors for emotional well-being, reducing stress and creating a sense of collective security. When your cat licks your hand or face, it is incorporating you into this ancient social ritual, treating you as a trusted member of its family and sharing the same care it would offer its own kin. The enduring connection. There is a mysterious and resilient strength in the feline spirit, evidenced by documented cases of cats traveling hundreds of miles through unfamiliar terrain to return to their home territory. While the exact mechanisms of this navigation remain a subject of scientific study, it is believed that they utilize a combination of acute smell, the position of the sun, and perhaps even a sensitivity to the Earth's magnetic field. This homing instinct is a testament to the profound emotional and biological attachment they form with their territory and their human families. For a cat, home is not merely a place of shelter, but a fundamental anchor in their world. A bond so powerful that it can pull them across mountains and through cities to find the hearth where they feel most secure. The collective spirit. The language we have woven around cats over the centuries is as charming and layered as the creatures themselves. When you see a group of cats lounging together in a sunlit garden, you are looking at what is poetically known as a cloud, a term that perfectly captures their soft, drifting presence and the way they seem to inhabit a space without ever truly heavying it. If that group consists of tiny, energetic kittens, the term shifts to a kindle, a word that evokes the way their playful spirit ignites warmth and light in a room. Even the individual titles we give them carry a certain weight of history. A male cat is often called a tom, while a female is known as a queen, a title that feels entirely appropriate given the regal and dignified bearing many cats possess. For those who live outside the hearth, sharing a common territory and social structure, we use the term colony, a reminder that even these independent hunters are capable of complex social bonds. These words are small tributes to the place cats hold in our lives, capturing a bit of their essence in a vocabulary of affection. The physics of the fall. One of the most impressive feats of natural acrobatics is the riding reflex, a skill that begins to develop when kittens are just a few weeks old. When a cat begins to fall, its highly developed vestibular system in the inner ear acts as a biological level, signaling which way is up within a fraction of a second. This initiates a complex rotation that starts with the head and front legs, followed by the spine and hind legs. Because cats have no functional collarbone and a spine with more vertebrae than your own, they can twist the front and back halves of their body independently to orient themselves. Interestingly, physics requires a certain distance for this reflex to fully activate. A fall from a short height, like a table, might not give the cat enough time to complete the rotation, while a slightly higher fall allows the reflex to work perfectly. It is a testament to millions of years of evolution, a survival mechanism that blends biology and physics into a moment of pure, instinctive grace. The anatomy of the purr. The sound of a purr is one of the most mysterious and soothing vibrations in the natural world, and science has only recently begun to map its exact origins. This rhythmic rumble is produced by the rapid vibration of muscles within the larynx or voice box, which open and close the space between the vocal cords, called the glottis, at a rate of 25 to 50 times per second. What makes the purr truly unique among animal vocalizations is that it is continuous. A cat can purr while breathing both in and out, allowing the sound to remain unbroken even as they eat, sleep, or nurse their young. This vibration is not merely a single sound, but a range of frequencies that can express everything from deep contentment and relaxation to an urgent request for attention. It is a form of communication that resonates beyond the cat, touching the spirit of anyone who hears it with a sense of profound and ancient peace. The art of the scratch. While it can be frustrating to a human guardian, the act of scratching is a biological necessity that serves several vital functions for a cat. When a cat scratches a surface, It is performing a ritual of physical maintenance, removing the dead outer layer of its claws to reveal the healthy, sharp layer beneath. You may occasionally find these discarded, translucent sheaths, small husks that look like hollow claws, near their favorite scratching spots. Beyond grooming, scratching is a form of feline yoga. It allows the cat to stretch and lengthen the muscles in its legs, shoulders, and back, releasing the tension gathered during their long periods of rest. Furthermore, because cats have scent glands in their paws, every scratch is a double message, a visual mark and a chemical signature that tells the world, "This is my territory, I am safe here." It is not an act of destruction, but an act of being, a natural expression of a cat's biological needs. The cultural tapestry. Throughout history, the cat has been a figure of both reverence and superstition, their mysterious nature sparking the human imagination in every corner of the world. In medieval Europe, this mystery was often met with fear, and cats, especially black ones, were wrongly associated with witchcraft and supernatural lore. This led to tragic periods of persecution, yet the irony of history suggests that the resulting loss of cats allowed rodent populations to surge, contributing to the spread of the plague. In other cultures, however, the cat remained a beacon of good fortune. In Japan, the manekiniko, or beckoning cat, is a beloved talisman believed to bring prosperity and protection to the home. Whether viewed as a sacred being in ancient Egypt or a guardian of the hearth in modern homes, the cat has endured through the centuries. Their story is woven into our own, a reminder that while superstitions fade, our fascination with these graceful and mysterious companions remains as strong as ever. The selective response. One of the most characteristic and occasionally humorous aspects of living with a cat is their selective response to human interaction. Scientific studies have confirmed that cats possess the cognitive ability to distinguish their owner's voice from a sea of strangers, showing subtle physical signs of recognition like ear movements or head shifts when they hear their name called. However, despite this clear recognition, many cats choose not to physically respond or approach when called. This behavior is not a reflection of a lack of intelligence or a weak bond. Rather, it is a testament to the cat's fundamental independence. In the wild, cats are solitary hunters who do not rely on the pack-based cooperation that defines the social structure of dogs. They have not been bred over millennia to follow commands, but rather to exist as autonomous partners who exercise their own agency. When your cat does choose to respond, when they come to your call or seek out your side, it carries a deeper weight, for it is a gesture freely given, a bond built on a mutual choice rather than an obligation of servitude. The window of the soul. The foundation of a cat's personality and their ability to navigate a human world is often built during a fleeting and critical period known as the socialization window. Occurring between 2 and 7 weeks of age, this is the time when a kitten's mind is most receptive to new experiences, building the neural pathways that will define their confidence for a lifetime. A kitten that is handled gently by different people and exposed to the sights and sounds of a busy home during this brief interval is far more likely to grow into a relaxed, adaptable adult. Conversely, those who lack these early positive encounters may carry a lingering shyness or a heightened startle reflex into their maturity. While the most impactful learning happens in youth, cats are remarkably resilient. Even adult cats who were not well socialized can learn to trust through patient exposure and positive reinforcement. This developmental journey is a reminder that every cat is a product of both their wild heritage and the early care they receive, a delicate soul shaped by the world's first impressions. The guardian's vigil. A cat's independence carries with it an ancient and silent burden, the biological instinct to hide any sign of illness or pain. In the wild, appearing weak or vulnerable makes a creature a target for predators, and this ancestral imperative remains hardwired into your domestic companion today. A cat may continue to eat, groom, and move with their usual grace while harboring a significant health struggle, only revealing their distress when it can no longer be suppressed. Because of this, you must be a mindful and proactive observer, learning to hear the quiet signals they send through subtle shifts in behavior. A slight change in appetite, a new preference for hiding in dark corners, or a subtle decrease in the meticulousness of their grooming can be early warning signs that your friend is in need of help. Being a guardian for a cat means more than providing food and shelter. It means being attuned to their silent language of well-being, providing a sanctuary where they no longer have to hide their vulnerabilities. The rhythm of the hours. While cats do not perceive time through the ticking of a clock, they are masters of anticipating the daily rhythms of your home through a complex web of environmental cues. They anchor their internal sense of time to the shifting angle of sunlight across the floor, the specific sequence of sounds as you prepare for work, or the familiar vibrations of your car returning at the end of the day. This sensitivity to routine is what allows your cat to appear at the food bowl minutes before you even reach for the bag. They have internalized the patterns of your life until they are synchronized with your every move. For a cat, this predictability is a source of profound security, providing a stable framework in a world that can sometimes feel overwhelming. Maintaining these simple daily rituals is a way to honor their need for order, creating a peaceful coexistence where the passage of time is measured in moments of shared presence and reliable comfort. The muse of the great minds. The silent, contemplative presence of a cat has long made them the preferred companions of history's most profound thinkers, artists, and writers. You share your hearth with a creature that inspired the whimsical poetry of T.S. Eliot and the dedicated devotion of Mark Twain, who always kept his home filled with feline friends. The writer Ernest Hemingway was famously captivated by his polydactyl cats, creating a legacy in Key West that still honors their multi-toed grace today. In the world of art, painters like Pablo Picasso, Henri Matisse, and Andy Warhol found in cats a source of endless mystery and visual inspiration, often featuring them in their most iconic works. Even leaders like Winston Churchill and scientists like Albert Einstein found comfort in the quiet company of a cat during the most demanding hours of their lives. These figures recognize that a cat offers a unique form of partnership, one that does not demand attention but provides a restful, meditative witness to the creative and intellectual process. To sit in silence with a cat is to participate in an ancient tradition of discovery, finding peace in their soft presence while the mind wanders through the possibilities of the world. The linguistic bridge. One of the most remarkable examples of interspecies evolution is found in the simple meow. While kittens use this sound to gain their mother's attention, you may be surprised to learn that adult cats rarely meow at one another in the wild. Instead, they rely on a sophisticated array of body language, scent marking, and other vocalizations to communicate. However, over thousands of years of living beside your hearth, cats discovered that humans respond to the meow in a way that other cats do not. They have refined this skill into a specialized linguistic tool designed almost exclusively for us, often tailoring the pitch and urgency of their meows to get exactly what they need, whether it is food, an open door, or a moment of affection. This is a beautiful example of how cats have adapted their behavior to bridge the gap between their world and ours, speaking a language that exists only in the space where your two lives overlap. The geography of touch. While your companion may seek out your presence, it is important to understand that they possess a very specific geography of comfort when it comes to physical touch. Most cats find deep relaxation when petted on the head, cheeks, and chin, areas where their scent glands are most concentrated and where petting reinforces your social bond. However, the belly, paws, and tail are often highly sensitive and may be strictly off limits. You might see your cat roll over and expose its soft, furry belly, a gesture that is often misinterpreted as an invitation for a rub. In the language of the feline, exposing the belly is a sign of ultimate trust and relaxation. But for many, touching this vulnerable area triggers a defensive instinct to protect their vital organs. By observing their subtle signals, the twitch of a tail or the flattening of an ear, you learn to respect these boundaries, building a relationship based on mutual understanding and the safety of their space. The science of the sip. Even the simple act of drinking water is a display of biological precision in the cat. The same tiny, hook-shaped barbs on their tongue, the papillae, that act as a comb during grooming also serve a vital role in hydration. When a cat laps water, these keratin barbs help draw the liquid upward and into the mouth with remarkable efficiency. While domestic cats rarely need to use their tongues to strip meat from bones as their ancestors did, they retain these sharp, backward-facing structures as a tool for survival. When your cat licks your hand, you feel the rough texture of these millions of years of evolution, a tool that has remained virtually unchanged because its design is so perfectly suited to its purpose. In that moment, your cat is not just showing affection, it is incorporating you into its family, grooming you with the same meticulous care it would offer a trusted kin. The midnight rhythms. In the quietest hours of the night, you may be startled by a sudden burst of energy as your companion races through the halls, a phenomenon often called the midnight zoom eyes. This behavior is not random, but is driven by the cat's internal clock, which signals that it is time for the twilight hunt. As crepuscular animals, cats are biologically programmed to be most active at dawn and dusk, times when their natural prey is also most active and when the low light provides the perfect cover for their superior vision. For an indoor cat, this ancient predatory drive must find an outlet, leading to these intense sprints and imaginary pounces. By understanding these natural tempos, you can see their evening play as a healthy expression of their identity, a way for them to burn the energy coiled within their athletic frames. The thermal sanctuary. If you follow the movement of your cat throughout the day, you will often find them moving from one patch of sunlight to the next, seeking out the golden warmth of the sun. This attraction to heat is deeply rooted in their biology. A cat's normal body temperature is slightly higher than yours, typically between 101 and 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Seeking out radiant heat sources like sunbeams or warm electronics allows them to maintain this temperature without expending valuable metabolic energy. This preference may be a lingering instinct from their desert-dwelling ancestors, who utilized the sun to conserve power for the high-intensity bursts of the hunt. Providing these warm sanctuaries is a simple but profound way to support their physical well-being, allowing them to relax their muscles and surrender to a state of deep, restorative rest. The moral of the hunt. Even for a cat that has never missed a meal, the drive to engage in the sequence of the hunt remains one of the most powerful forces in their mind. The prey drive is not triggered by hunger, but by an innate biological command to stalk, chase, pounce, and capture. This is why your cat will become transfixed by a fluttering insect or a toy dragged across the floor. Their brain is hardwired to respond to these stimuli with absolute focus. For the mental and physical health of an indoor cat, regular play that simulates this sequence is essential, providing an outlet for instincts that demand expression. When you engage in this interactive play, you are not just entertaining your friend, you are honoring their nature as a predator, allowing them to experience the satisfaction of a successful hunt within the safety of your shared home. The ancient grain guard. To truly understand the soul of the cat, one must look back nearly 10,000 years to the very dawn of agriculture. As your ancestors began to settle, tilling the earth and storing the first harvests of grain, they inadvertently created a beacon for the wild. These grain stores attracted vast numbers of rodents, and where the mice gathered, the first felines arrived, not as invited guests, but as opportunistic partners in an ancient alliance. This was a unique chapter in history, Unlike other animals that were captured or bred for specific tasks, cats essentially domesticated themselves. They chose proximity to human firelight because it provided a reliable hunting ground, and in return, they kept the vital food supplies safe from vermin. Over centuries, this mutual tolerance blossomed into a shared life, as the least fearful cats began to raise their kittens near human homes. Today, even the most pampered indoor cat carries the genetic memory of those first solitary hunters who walked out of the shadows and decided that their future lay beside the hearth. The luminous mirror. If you have ever seen a cat's eyes gleam with an otherworldly light in the darkness, you have witnessed one of nature's most elegant solutions to the challenge of night vision. This eerie glow, often shining in shades of green, gold, blue, or even orange, is caused by a specialized layer of cells behind the retina called the tapetum lucidum. This biological mirror reflects light that passes through the retina back through it a second time, giving the eye's photoreceptors another chance to capture every available photon. This incredible adaptation allows cats to see with remarkable clarity in conditions 6 to 8 times dimmer than what a human would require. However, even this master of the night is not invincible. In complete, absolute darkness where no light exists to be reflected, the cat is just as blind as you are. They are truly creatures of the twilight, built to thrive in the delicate spaces between day and night, where their eyes can amplify the faintest shimmer of the moon or stars into a clear map of the world. The silent pioneer. While cats have long been masters of the terrestrial world, their story also includes a brief and extraordinary journey into the silent vastness of space. In October 1963, a small black and white stray from the streets of Paris named Felicette became the world's first and only feline astronaut. As part of a French research program, she was launched into the unknown, experiencing 5 minutes of pure weightlessness while electrodes monitored her neurological activity. Felicette survived her 15-minute mission and returned to Earth, providing scientists with vital data on how the brain functions when removed from the pull of gravity. For decades, her contribution was largely forgotten, but a statue unveiled in 2018 now stands as a tribute to her courage. Her journey serves as a poignant reminder that the feline spirit, while deeply anchored to the comfort of the home, has participated in the grandest human quests for understanding, even reaching for the stars. The Whiskers' invisible map. Beyond the grace of their movement, cats possess an invisible navigational system comprised of highly sensitive tactile organs called vibrissae, or whiskers. While most prominent on the face, cats also carry these precision instruments above their eyes, on their chins, and even on the backs of their front legs. Each whisker is deeply embedded in the body and connected directly to the nervous system, capable of detecting the most infinitesimal changes in air pressure and currents. This allows a cat to sense the proximity of an object or the movement of prey without ever making physical contact. Interestingly, these sensors are so acute that some cats experience a condition known as whisker fatigue, where the constant sensory input from the sides of a deep food bowl becomes overwhelming and stressful. To respect a cat's whiskers is to recognize that they are navigating a world of tactile data that you can neither see nor feel, a continuous, silent commentary on the physical world that surrounds them. The sacred threshold. The depth of the human-feline bond is perhaps most vividly illustrated by the morning rituals of ancient Egypt. In that sun-drenched civilization, cats were not merely pets but sacred beings connected to the divine power of the goddess Batet. When a household cat passed away, the grief was so profound that the family members would shave their eyebrows as a public sign of their loss. The cat's body was treated with the same ceremonial honor as a high-born human, meticulously mummified, wrapped in fine linen, and buried in dedicated cemeteries with offerings of food and even small mummified mice for the journey to the afterlife. This ancient practice reflects a fundamental truth that remains today. The loss of a cat is a significant event, a thinning of the fabric of the home. The Egyptians recognized that cats were family, companions who deserved honor in death, just as they brought good fortune and protection in life. The linguistic bridge. One of the most remarkable examples of interspecies evolution is found in the simple meow, a sound that exists primarily in the space between human and cat. While kittens use this vocalization to gain their mother's attention, adult cats in the wild rarely meow at one another, relying instead on a sophisticated array of body language, scent marking, and other vocalizations like hisses or yowls. However, over thousands of years of living beside your hearth, cats discovered that humans respond to the meow in a way that other cats do not. They have refined this skill into a specialized linguistic tool designed almost exclusively for us, often tailoring the pitch and urgency of their meows to get exactly what they need, whether it is food, an open door, or a moment of affection. Attentive owners can often distinguish between these specific requests, recognizing a unique meow for a meal versus one that simply says, "Pay attention to me." This is a beautiful example of how cats have adapted their behavior to bridge the gap between their world and ours, speaking a language that evolved just for this connection. The geography of expression. A cat's tail is one of its most expressive features, a living antenna that broadcasts its mood and intention to anyone who knows how to read it. While a tail held high with a slight curve at the tip signals confidence and contentment, a tail tucked tightly against the body suggests submission or fear. One of the most common misunderstandings between cats and humans involves the wagging tail. While a wagging tail in a dog generally indicates happiness, in a cat, a tail moving slowly from side to side or thumping against the ground usually signals annoyance, frustration, or overstimulation. If a cat's tail is lashing rapidly, it is often a warning sign to back off. By observing these subtle variations, from the gentle sway of a focused hunter to the puffed-up bottle brush of an intimidated spirit, you can learn to respect their boundaries and respond appropriately to their inner world. The memory of contentment. Few behaviors are more endearing than when a cat kneads or makes biscuits on a soft blanket or your lap. This rhythmic pressing of the paws is a comforting behavior carried over from kittenhood, where newborn kittens need their mother's belly to stimulate milk flow. In adulthood, this action remains associated with warmth, safety, and nourishment. When a cat needs you, it is often interpreted as a sign of deep affection and trust, as the cat is essentially treating you as it would its mother. Some cats become so immersed in this meditative state of extreme contentment that they may purr loudly or even drool slightly. While the pressure of their claws can sometimes be uncomfortable, it is never meant to cause harm. It is a vulnerable, tender vestige of infancy and a return to a time when life felt simple and secure. The sovereign view. If you have ever wondered why your cat insists on sleeping on top of the refrigerator or a high shelf, the answer lies in an ancient survival instinct. In the wild, elevated positions provide a sense of security and control, as a cat resting high above the ground is less vulnerable to predators and has a better vantage point to observe its surroundings. Even though domestic cats face no such threats, the instinct to survey their territory from a position of power remains. High perches also provide a necessary escape from unwanted interaction, allowing a cat to retreat to a quiet, vertical throne if they feel overwhelmed by household activity. Providing vertical space, such as cat trees or window perches, is a vital part of creating an enriching environment where a cat can thrive and feel safe in its domestic kingdom. The genetic shadow. It might seem impossible that the small, purring creature on your couch has much in common with a tiger prowling through a jungle, but genetically, they are remarkably similar. Domestic cats share approximately 95% of their DNA with tigers, a reminder that they both belong to the same family, Felidae, and share a common ancestor. The fundamental blueprint is the same: The sharp, retractable claws, the keen senses, and the powerful hunting sequence are all traits shared by the smallest house cat and the largest tiger. When you watch your companion stalk a toy with absolute focus, you are witnessing the same predatory techniques a tiger uses to hunt in the wild. This genetic closeness is humbling, suggesting that the gentle friend sharing your home is, in a very real sense, a miniature tiger carrying the legacy of powerful ancestors. The precision of the path. Beneath the ghostly silence of a cat's movement lies a masterpiece of evolutionary discipline. When a cat walks, its back paw lands with almost mathematical precision in the exact footprint left by the front paw. This unique gait, known as direct registering, is a hallmark of the feline world. By placing the rear paw in a spot already tested and proven silent by the front, the cat minimizes the risk of a snapping twig or rustling leaf alerting its prey. This is not merely an act of stealth. It is a display of incredible coordination that allows them to navigate narrow fences or thin branches with a confidence that seems to defy the laws of physics. Every step is a calculated act of grace, a reminder of their millions of years of refinement as nature's ultimate silent hunters. The acoustic map of the dark. While you enjoy the quiet of your home, your cat is navigating a vibrant, invisible symphony of sound. A cat's hearing is one of the keenest among all mammals, capable of detecting frequencies up to 64,000 hertz, far beyond the 20,000 hertz limit of the human ear. This specialized range allows them to hear the ultrasonic whispers of rodents and the infinitesimal rustle of insects moving through the walls. Each ear is governed by 32 individual muscles, allowing them to swivel 180 degrees independently of one another like tiny radar dishes. Even when they appear to be in the deepest sleep, their ears remain alert, constantly twitching to monitor the environment and filter the important from the mundane. For a cat, your home is never truly silent. It is a detailed map of acoustic information that guides them through the twilight. The biochemistry of the predator. The dietary world of the cat is governed by the strict rules of being an obligate carnivore. Their bodies are biologically designed to derive nutrition almost exclusively from animal tissue, requiring specific compounds like taurine for heart and eye health that they cannot produce on their own. This specialization has even reshaped their sense of taste. Interestingly, cats are among the few mammals that completely lack the ability to taste sweetness. Their taste buds are instead calibrated to detect the savory richness of amino acids and the warning bitterness of potential toxins, a sensory filter perfectly tuned for a predator. While you might enjoy a variety of flavors, your cat evaluates its food through a lens of protein and aroma, a survival-based analysis where scent, 14 times stronger than yours, tells them everything they need to know. The sacred haw and the mirror of health. If you watch a cat as it stirs from sleep, you might catch a glimpse of a thin, translucent membrane sliding across the corner of its eye before vanishing once more. This is the third eyelid, also known as the nictitating membrane or the haw, an elegant piece of anatomy that works silently to sweep away dust and maintain a perfect layer of moisture across the cornea. In the wild, this extra layer of protection was essential for an ancestor moving through sharp grasses or engaging in a hunt. While it usually remains hidden, a persistently visible third eyelid can be a quiet signal of illness or dehydration, a subtle sign to a watchful guardian that their companion is in need of care. This membrane is a reminder of their wild origins and the hidden mechanisms that keep their most vital sense protected. The final reflection, a legacy of peace. Our journey began 10,000 years ago at the edge of the first human hearths, where wild cats chose to walk out of the shadows and form an ancient alliance with us. Today, whether they are known as a cloud of adults or a kindle of playful kittens, they remain the regal queens and toms of our homes. They have taught us that rest is not laziness, but a necessary sanctuary, and that the rhythmic rumble of a purr is a healing frequency that resonates with the very bones of our shared existence. They remind us that grace is found in simple movements, and that independence and affection can live side by side in a single, soft frame. As the lights dim and the world outside grows still, focus on the rhythmic breathing of the cat curled beside you. In their 16 hours of sleep, they are perhaps dreaming of that 10,000-year-old story, replaying the hunt and the pounce in the safety of your presence. Let the quiet wisdom of the cat surround you, their ability to find peace and stillness, and their ancient rhythm that transitions from the twilight into the dark. Sink into the same deep rest they know so well, for the cats of the world are keeping watch in the shadows, purring in the silence, and guiding you toward a morning filled with quiet grace. Good night, dear listener. May your rest be as deep as the surrender of a cat in a sunbeam.